For a lot of us on a spiritual path, awakening feels like the ultimate finish line, right? But what if it's not? Today, we're diving into this really powerful idea from the Avatamsaka Sutra that flips that whole idea on its head and suggests that awakening, well, it's actually just the starting line.
So just imagine this for a second. You've had that big, profound insight. You've seen through the illusory nature of reality, you get the whole emptiness thing, and then the dust settles and this huge question just hangs in the air. Now what? Is this it? This is actually a super common spiritual plateau. It's that feeling that after this massive breakthrough, you've just hit a wall. A beautiful, serene wall, maybe, but a dead end nonetheless. This is what we can call the emptiness trap, and it's what happens when that incredible realization of illusion gets mistaken for the final destination. And the Avatamsaka Sutra, well, it tackles this problem head on. So to help us navigate this, we're going to follow a pilgrim from the sutra, a guy named Sudana. He gets to this exact point and asks these three totally crucial questions. How do I even learn the path? Okay, then how do I practice it? And after this first big awakening, how in the world do I keep going? Sudhana's first teachers, a duo named Devasruta and Sudarshana, they kind of break down the state he's in. They give it a name, illusory abiding liberation. Basically, it's that first profound aha moment where you realize that the very nature of reality as you perceive it is, well, an illusion. It's a huge deal, for sure, and an absolutely vital first step. And how the sutra explains this is pretty wild. It essentially describes our reality as a kind of massive, shared, virtual reality system. It's this grand simulation that's constantly being generated by this interplay of causes and conditions, consciousness, and of course, karma. And look, this VR isn't just, some parts of reality. It is total. It's not just that your desk or your coffee cup are illusory. The sutra says everything is part of this system. All the different worlds, every single being, even our ideas of past, present, and future, life and death. And get this, even the spiritual path you're on is a construct inside the simulation. Okay, so this brings up a pretty obvious question, right? If you've managed to peek behind the curtain and you've seen the source code of this whole VR, have you won the game? Is that the end? Is that the final goal? And this is where we get the big plot twist. Sudana's teachers drop a system-critical warning. They actually confess that they themselves have only mastered this first level. They get the VR part, but they straight up admit, we do not know what lies deeper. I mean, what a huge moment. So let's just put this side by side because this is the whole point. The common misconception is that seeing emptiness, seeing the illusion, is the end of the road. The work is done, but in the huge, sprawling system of the Avatamsaka Sutra, that's just a beginner's awakening. The real advanced work, it's only just beginning. Okay, so Sudana's teachers have basically hit the limit of what they know. But they don't just leave him stranded. They point him toward the next stage. They point him towards someone who does know what's deeper. They tell him to go to a place called the Maitreya Pavilion. And this is where the metaphor gets even cooler. The Maitreya Pavilion isn't just some physical building he has to find. Think of it as the main server entrance, the login portal to the entire operating system of the cosmos, what the sutra calls the Dharma realm. All right, so for logging into this operating system, what's actually on the desktop? Let's break it down. The sutra talks about a good advisor, who is kind of like your personal AI coach or your GPS, giving you perfectly tailored directions. The teachings themselves, the Dharma, they're not just a list of rules. They're the powerful algorithms that make the whole system function. And the actual practices you do, those are like the different application modules you run to get specific things done. And powering this entire thing, the driving engine, is your personal vow, your deepest aspiration. Without that power source, nothing else even boots up. Let's double-click on that first one, the good advisor. In this system, they're way more than just a helpful teacher. They are the OS bootloader for your advanced awakening. They're the essential guide who helps you get from just seeing the illusion to actually working inside the system like a pro. And what's amazing is the sutra gets super specific about what this advisor does. It gives at least 10 different models for how they function. They're like a mother, nurturing your highest potential. They're like a doctor, healing your deepest afflictions. They're like a ship's captain, fearlessly steering you through the stormy seas of existence. Basically, they show up as whatever you need them to be to keep your journey moving forward. All right, so you've logged into the main server, you've got your guide. Now what? What's the ultimate system upgrade here?
This is where we really see how that first awakening was just the starting line.
The absolute core upgrade, the big one, is this massive shift in your motivation. You move from the mindset of I'm practicing to free myself to the bodhisattva mindset. And a bodhisattva is someone who is completely dedicated to the enlightenment of all beings. So the mission totally changes to I'm practicing to free everyone. Your own liberation just becomes a tool for a much, much bigger job.
Now, this leads to a really subtle but super important point. Yes, the world is like a dream. It's an illusion. But, and this is key, the rules of that dream, the laws of cause and effect, or karma, they are perfectly real and they function perfectly within that illusion. You can't just pretend they don't exist. And that right there, that's the whole game for a bodhisattva. It's to act skillfully, to act compassionately, right in the middle of this illusion we call the world, to participate fully but without ever being trapped, defined, or fooled by it. So if we zoom out and look at Sutana's whole journey, you can really see this clear three-stage path. First, you see the illusion. You see the VR. Second, you enter the real operating system. You find your guide and you fire up your motivation. And third, you begin the real work, compassionate action inside the system. And really, the big takeaway from all of this is pretty mind-blowing. Enlightenment isn't some static final state you reach and then, just chill forever. It's the entry point. It's the beginning of an infinite, ever-expanding system of practice and service. It's not an endpoint. It's a promotion to a whole new level of work.
So that kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. For you, if seeing through the illusion is really just the beginning, then after your own moments of awakening, big or small, what is the infinite mission that you are just getting started on?